Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's get on to PIBs of 23rd of March 2020. But before starting with 23rd March, let's just try finishing few of the articles of 20th March as well, which I missed explaining. So herein we are to talk about house sparrow. So this PIB is asking us, is the endangered house sparrow making a comeback? So at the outset itself, we are getting the idea that why exactly we're talking about house sparrow, because it's an endangered species it has become. And who categorizes this thing? It is categorized by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So endangered species is a broad category. Under this we are various categories, but let's just proceed as per the PIB. We'll see what exactly is the categorization of the house sparrow. So World Sparrow Day is celebrated every year on 20th of March, and this is the context. Further, as per this very PIB, house sparrows follow us everywhere. Us means human beings. So these house sparrows, they live in vicinity with the human beings. This is why we are calling it house sparrows and not wild sparrows, and simply cannot live where we as a human don't. So their habitat is in convergence with the habitat of human beings. Fossil evidence from a cave in Bethlehem dating back to 400,000 years suggests that the house sparrows shared its space with early humans. This is either way obvious. So right from the beginning itself they are living in vicinity with the human beings. Alright. Further, this is saying that this house sparrow is starch friendly genes. So house sparrows is having a starch friendly genes, and this is the very reason they can live at the vicinity of the human beings. They can eat whatever we give them to eat because they can digest carbohydrates. Starch means glucose or carbohydrates basically, and this tells us a story linked to our own evolution. Further study stated that this adaptation mechanism was found in 3 different species: dogs, house sparrows and humans. So we all evolved simultaneously in a very similar manner. Adaptation mechanism is similar. This is not important, all the factual details are only important. So herein we are to talk about this thing, that it has a pair of genes AMY2A that helps it digest complex carbohydrates, the reason that it shares our love of starchy wheat and rice. So this is the very reason, because the house sparrow is having a pair of genes that can digest the carbohydrates, and this is the very reason they can eat wheat as well as rice, and they can live at vicinity of the human beings, and they can share the same space with us. Further, conservationists attribute the decline in population of house sparrow to number of factors. For example, unfriendly architecture of our homes, chemical fertilizers in our crops, noise pollution that disturbs the ecology, and noxious exhaust fumes from vehicles. Also, this is debatable that whether digital revolution has jammed the air passage or not. This is inconclusive, although in many of the books we do read about this very thing, that these towers and the signals, they disrupt the movement of the house sparrows, but this is still inconclusive as per the PIB. But common people say it is no coincidence that house sparrow started disappearing in the late 1990s when mobile phones came to India, although it's still at an inconclusive stage. So we have read about this. Further, only one point is there, that March 20 is celebrated as the World Sparrow Days, and we are done with this very PIB. But let's just talk about certain things about this sparrow. So here in this very Worldwide Fund for India website is telling us few things. Number one, that the house sparrow is basically listed as a least concerned under the IUCN Red List. Very important. So its status is least concerned. Further, this too is important, habitat and its distribution. So herein the house sparrows is widespread across world, inhabiting every continent except Antarctica and China and Japan. So it is widespread across the world except Antarctica, China and Japan. Herein we are getting one thing, that it is probable that few of the house sparrows are also found even in China or Japan or Antarctica as well, but widespread is our keyword here. So they are not found widespread, or they are not found in abundance or very well spread across the entire nation in these 3 places. So this is one point. It is native to Eurasia and North Africa. This too is important. It is not native to except these two things. So it is native to Eurasia and North Africa, but was introduced to South Africa, North and South America, Australia, New Zealand and Middle East, India, Central Asia, where its population thrived under a variety of climatic and environmental conditions. So house sparrows are not native of India per se. These are native to only Eurasia and North America. Eurasia is right here and North America is right here, and further they were introduced later on to all other places, and that's it. Further, it is saying that within India it is found throughout the country. Alright. Throughout the country up to Assam Valley and lower parts of the Assam Hills. Towards the eastern Himalayas, this species is replaced by Eurasian tree sparrow. It is known to stay close to human habitations and therefore among the most commonly found bird species in the urban cities. From the name itself we are getting the hint. We are calling it house sparrow. Flocks of sparrow are a common sighting near residential colonies, gardens, farms, agricultural fields, office buildings and even highways with fast moving traffic. So it is not something which is rarely found in India. In fact, it's widespread in India. It is found throughout the country, but their number has gone down now because of a lot of reasons. We have studied all these reasons. Also, IUCN has categorized it as a least concern. Don't think of it as an extinct, of course not extinct, but highly endangered or what all other categories are. It is actually least concern, and that is, and this is it. Now we are on to next PIB, and this is talking about National Policy on Skill Development. So by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, very important, National Policy on Skill Development. So when was it formulated? It was formulated in the year 2009, but later on it was revised, and now we are having a second national policy for skill development and entrepreneurship, which was notified in the year 2015. This too is important. What is the purpose of National Policy on Skill Development? I'm sure we already know. There is no point in reading about its purpose. Its objectives are either obvious, but basically it is a policy. So under its domain there's going to be a lot of schemes. For example, Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So under its domain we are having PMKVY as well. Further, we are having sector skill council. Then we are having some industry led bodies to develop the national occupation standards. Then we are having a scheme named Sankalp and then Strive. Sankalp and Strive both are important. So we are getting two things here which is relevant for our prelims exam: Sankalp and Strive. Sankalp means skills acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion. Please memorize this: skills acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion, Sankalp. It is an outcome oriented World Bank supported project for doing what? For strengthening the institutional mechanism at both national and state level. This is important, and it is under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. This too is important. So basically it's an outcome oriented thing, that too supported by the World Bank in order to strengthen the institutional mechanism, definitely at both national and state level. There is no doubt about it. Further, second is about the Strive, and the full form is strengthening for skills strengthening for industrial value enhancement. So from the name itself we are getting the hint. How can we strengthen or enhance the industrial value? We can enhance the industrial value by providing the requisite skills to the people, and this is what this project is about. This is basically a World Bank assisted project launched with the objective of improving the relevance and efficiency of skills training provided through industrial training institutes and apprenticeship. So definitely ITIs are there to provide skills to the people, but what should be the course curriculum, what should be the things that these ITIs are teaching to the people? That has to be at the sync with the industry demands, and this is the very reason we are having the Strive program, Strive scheme, to improve the efficiency of skill trainings provided through ITIs and apprenticeship. That's it. So apart from these, Rozgar Melas are there and all these sector skill counselings are there. These are either way obvious. From this very PIB only few things were important: National Policy on Skill Development, its year and under which ministry it is, and Sankalp and Strive. Moving on to the next PIB, which is here, which is about the fast track special courts. So herein it is saying that under POCSO Act of 2012, POCSO stands for protection of children from sexual offences. We are having special courts to do what? To try the offences under the POCSO Act. The POCSO Act has adequate provisions to ensure the child-friendly procedures for trials. So it's really important that the trials in which children are involved, it is held in a very friendly atmosphere. So this is its broad theme. Further, it is stating that the Act provides that National Commission for Protection of Child Rights shall monitor the implementation of the provisions of the POCSO Act. So who is the implementing, or who is the body that monitors the implementation of the provision of the POCSO Act? It is National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, very important. And further, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is a statutory body that was established in 2005 under an act of the Parliament, and the act name was maybe Protection of Child Rights Act 2005, but as such it's a statutory body, and this is important, and it is also a body that monitors the implementation of the provision of the POCSO Act, and that's it. Further, how can we make the trial child friendly? And these are the ways. It is not important, but let's just go through them either way. It can be made by allowing a family member, a guardian or friend or a relative in the trial itself, in which child is having a trust. Further, the special court may, if it considered necessary, permit frequent breaks for the child during their trial. It is not like child has to give its testimony in one go. Court can allow breaks as well. Further, child is not called repeatedly to testify in the court. This too is important. Further, the special court shall not permit aggressive questioning or character assassination of the child to ensure that dignity of the child is maintained at all times during the trial. Very important.